Sure. Hey, Russ, when you're looking at Arizona, what stands out to you with the secondary with Buda Baker back there?
Well, man, Buda Baker's one of the best players in the game. And, I've gotten to know him a little bit, just different experiences watching him at University of Washington, and then at the Pro Bowls and stuff like that, and just playing against him. He's a terrific player. He brings so much energy to the game, and he can make so many plays. You got to know where 32 is because he can make a lot of plays, and I got a lot of respect for him how he plays the game.
What challenges in particular stand out to you with him?
Well, I think he's a phenomenal tackler. He knows how to get the ball. He knows how to make plays. You guys saw the game the other day about how he knocked the ball out and made a couple plays, made an interception. Just he's all over the field. He's the epitome of what you want on a teammate and player in terms of how he plays so aggressively every play, and just he's definitely a special player.
Thank you.
John Boyle.
Yeah, Russ, you've been involved in the campaign to get everybody voting and everything. Why was that important for you this year?
Well, I think it's so important to vote because I think that one it's a privilege and an honor to be able to, and a blessing to be able to. Meaning that for many years blacks weren't able to vote. Even women weren't able to vote for so long, and just so many people fought for the opportunity to be able to vote. I think also too is it's important not just to it's important not just to vote. I used to think, just to be honest with you, I used to think, oh, well, maybe just vote for the president part of it and just do this part of it. And as you grow older and as when you're 18 years old versus, 31 years old, you start realizing that, the local part of it matters so much too as well, the state part of it. So it's important that we continue to, push the idea of voting and the significance of it. And, Sierra and I were able to do our vote and ballot, 2 nights ago. And so I think we're turning that in today, this morning, Sierra is. And so it's an exciting time for opportunity and change and just growth in our country. And I think it's, hopefully we can make a difference in this world.
And that day, you guys end up canceling practice and getting everyone registered. Just what was that day like to know that you're getting every single player on the team signed up?
Well, it was so cool to get everybody signed up and everybody part of it. And I know, we're part of. I'm a voter. That whole campaign. It's been a blessing to be a part of that too for Sierra and I and the team too as well. And so, just getting everybody registered, it's an accomplishment, to be honest with you, because a lot of people don't. Just to be honest with you. And so I think that's been great for us as a team. We're stepping up and just trying to do our part. And I think too, it was such an emotional day. I think about just all the conversations, all the things that we talked about, and just growing as men and growing along the way in the process. And I think that was very educational too for all of us, to get to know each other, but also get to know the situation and what we need to do as a whole collective team together.
Mike?
Hey, Russ, I want you to hop in a time machine with me real quick.
Yeah.
It's 2014.
It's 20 what?
2014.
Okay.
Preparing to play the St. Louis Rams. You're watching film, and you see number 99 for the first time, Aaron Donald. What are you thinking?
Oh man, Aaron's. I played Aaron when I was at NC State, actually, I believe, and he was. I think he was a freshman that year, and I noticed how special he was. So I had kind of gotten a glimpse of him before, I believe, and then watching him throughout his career, and just back then when I'm sitting in the film room, going back to that first time we got to play against each other, he was just a special player. It's really phenomenal when you watch somebody who can be a 3 technique and cause as much havoc as he causes. It's one thing if you're a defensive end on the edge and everything else, but it's another thing when you're in the interior defensive line and you're the main problem, And so they had so many guys back then. I think about that team, that defense. It was one of the toughest defense I've ever had to play against for sure.
I know you respect all your great opponents. Is there any player you maybe dread playing least, or you dread playing more, than Aaron Donald?
I think Aaron's one of the best for sure. I think one of the best players I've ever played against. I think Khalil Mack's another great player. There's been some great ones for sure. I've played against, Charles Woodson, and the Champ Baileys of the world and the kind of guys like that. Those were amazing times when you think back to it and realize those are going to be some of the best players to ever play this game. I think back to also one of my favorite moments is thinking back to my rookie year when I got to play, Navarro Bowman and those guys too as well. And I just remember how fast, Willis was and Bowman, just how they could make so many plays. I mean, those are some of the toughest teams we had to play in that defense in particular.
Thanks.
Yep.
Jen?
Russ, a lot of growth takes place between year 1 and year 2. What kind of growth have you seen in Kyler Murray?
Well, I think Kyler's been special since he came in the league. He's made so many plays, but I think he has so much command. Obviously, being around guys like Larry Fitzgerald and how special of a player that he is on the field and how he can make plays. Guys like Hopkins and they got a lot of players that can really play. Drake, Kirk can play too, and so he's a phenomenal football player. He can really throw it. He can spin it. He can run around. I mean, he's quick as a cat. He's just moving around like crazy. I got to know him a little bit through the draft process and got a lot of respect for him and his competitiveness. And we're gonna get to play against each other for many years, and it's gonna always be a lot of battles. So. I'm proud to see just his work ethic and success, and doing it for the shorter guys. But he's been special for sure.
Greg Bell?
Hi, Russ. What's your relationship and interest in Antonio Brown?
Well, you guys know that. I've been I got to know him over the past 4 or 5 years. 5 years I would say. We spent a lot of time together in California and just throwing and stuff like that, and been around each other on different shoots and stuff like that. We've been around each other. I think the reality about Antonio is he's one of the best players to ever play this game. Obviously, I think that he's always been a special player in terms of the field. I think, and the reality is with Antonio, he's had some tough moments in his life. Especially as of late, and I think that he's gone through a lot of things that he wishes he could take back and do and just not say or whatever it may be. But I think that he's a special player for sure. I don't know what's going to happen with him or not. I don't know if if it's how serious it is us getting him or not. But I do know that, obviously he can play some football, and I think that's the thing. It's just I've developed a relationship personally with him, and just not everybody's perfect. And I think that's just the reality. None of us are, and and so hopefully he gets to play football again.
Can you explain a line between what you stand for as a person and what you'll accept as a teammate?
In terms of what? What do you mean by that, Greg?
Personal conduct off the field, with the law, with law enforcement, with all the litany of things he's gone through with 3 teams in the last 18 months. Is there a line that you draw, or is it just win on the field, just win, baby type of an attitude?
You guys know me better than that. I think you know me better than that, Greg. I think ultimately, I think that he's obviously made some mistakes along the way. I think that I think there's been a process for that, and he's had to deal with it and go through it. And I pray for anybody honestly that goes through anything. And that's just me. That's my nature personally. And I never wish anything bad on anybody. That's just kind of me. And I think that with Antonio, I think that he's gone through this process. I know he's gone through so many things throughout the NFL process and everything else. And I don't know the whole full process of it all, but I do know that hopefully he gets to play football again, and hopefully he gets a second chance just in his process.
Thank you.
AJ?
So Russ, about half hour or so ago, found out you guys will be playing on Sunday Night Football instead of the mid-afternoon game. Not that it changes the preparation at all, but what's your excitement about playing under the lights again? I think you guys have a ridiculous number of primetime games this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think that through the process of playing this season, and throughout all the years, really, we've had some amazing games, amazing battles, and some great, players on our team and stuff like that. And I think that, when you have success, and win and stuff like that, a lot of people want to see you play, I guess. I don't know. But, I know that it'll be a great matchup, NFC West game. They got some great players on their team, some of the best players to play this game, kind of thing. And we do too. And so it'll be a great matchup and looking forward to it. I never really worry about what time the game is. I just, when the ball snaps, it's time to go play and try to go win a game. And so hopefully we can do that.
Joe Fan?
Russ, just following up on what Greg asked. I mean, I'm all for, nobody's perfect, but some of the allegations against him of rape and sexual assault are very serious. The text messages he sent to one of his accusers, including pictures of her children, which is why he was released from the Patriots. I'm curious, how that resonates with you, if you've talked with him about those things, if you feel like he is a changed person and has taken steps to, show remorse and and become a changed person.
I think Antonio definitely has taken those steps in the process, and like I said, nobody's perfect. From the conversations I've had with him, he's really been remorseful and just he's been humbled, along the way. I really, and like I said, I pray that he can continue to grow just like anybody, and you know all the stuff I'm not into that, what I mean, in terms of knowing, I wasn't there or anything in that process, that part of it, but knowing, what I know of him and the times I've been around him, and that, I try not to judge people, and I think that along the way though, I think it's important that no matter what, no matter if he plays football ever again or not, I think it's important that, that he's surrounded around the right people. I think he's surrounded around, whether if he's here or anywhere else in the world, I think it's important that anybody, is surrounded around the right people along the way, and hopefully he can grow in that process.
Corbin?
Hey, Russ, I know it's early. It's just been 5 games. It's a long season, but this offensive line has been terrific so far. Even when you guys have had to play some backups like Jordan Simmons and Jamarco Jones, haven't missed a beat. From a talent and depth standpoint, where does this line stack up with other groups you've had in front of you? And would it be accurate to say that maybe this group has already positioned itself to be the best that you've had in front of you in your career?
Yeah, I think the guys have been doing great. I think, they've done a tremendous job protecting and just, blocking for us. And I think the addition of Shell has been great. He's done a tremendous job. I think, with, obviously Dwayne has been so special ever since he's gotten here. I think Ethan Posick has really stepped up along the way. I think we've done a tremendous job. D. Lou has been an amazing rookie. He's come in with a great focus and, detail and preparation for the game. I think Mike has been unbelievable his whole career. And just to have such a solid group of guys that are so focused every day on the preparation part of it and playing at the highest level, I think it's been really cool to watch and be a part of.
Art?
Russ, a follow-up on the Antonio question.
Yep.
He's wherever he's been, according to what I've read, he's been kind of an irresponsible teammate. And I'm wondering why, if he were to become your teammate, why would it be different here?
Well, I think, I've had some of the conversations, with other, I've had some of the conversations with other teammates and stuff like that, try to get to know him. Obviously, there's been some situations where, I think that he wished he didn't say certain things or this or that. But I think that, I think along the way, most of the conversations I've had with most of his former teammates and stuff like that said that, he worked hard every day. He came ready, and I think he had a bad year or two there, a couple of years there, where kind of it didn't go the way he wanted to. I think that with our culture, I can speak those on us, and how our culture is. I think, with Coach Carroll, I think with the teammates that we have, the men that we have, and the growth, I think it's, if he does play football, I think this is a great place if he does play again. I think this is a place that he'll grow a lot as a man too, as well. And I think that, we're going to continue to, try to help anybody who walks in this locker room, as you guys know. If we have we've had other great players here and stuff too. And I think that's just part of our culture, is trying to help people and be along that way. And and so I think it's not just about the games. It's not just about winning, and stuff like that. It's also about, developing and talking and growing as men and just learning from our previous, experiences and everything else too as well. And so I think that's the part of the thing. And so, and hopefully if he does come here, hopefully he can be a great teammate with us and for us and be along the way. If not, then we got a lot of great players, and we got some guys that can really make some great plays too as well. I mean, we've been doing that all year, so it's been exciting for sure and along the way.
Jessamine?
Hey, Russ, you guys got a division game on Sunday night now.
Mm-hmm.
The division as a whole is highly thought of across the league. Everyone kind of considers the NFC West cream of the crop. You're at 5-0. You've got Cardinals and Rams at 4-2 right behind you, and then San Francisco with 3 wins. What are your thoughts on the strength of the division this year?
I mean, every year, I think ever since I've gotten here in 2012, it's been, battles with every team, every kind of matchup we've had in the NFC West, and so it's nothing new, to be honest with you. I think that it's great to be in a great division because every matchup, every game is a close one, every game is tight, every moment is tough, and I think it'll be. I think it'll be another great matchup. I think it'll be another great championship type of performance, and we're looking forward to it. And I know they are too. And it'll be, we really respect these guys and how they play and how tough they are. So it'll be a great matchup.
Masvida.
Hey, Russ, just more on the leadership process. How does a young quarterback, when you look back, like Kyler Murray, like Patrick Mahomes, how do you evolve as a leader without pressing?
Without pressing, you mean in terms of your thought process, or in terms of pressing, what do you mean necessarily, Masvida?
Yeah, no, I mean in terms of asserting yourself as a leader in that locker room, right? There's certain things you got to do on the field, but without I'm the leader and that kind of pressing.
Yeah, that's a great point. I do think that you come in either a leader or not. I think you either have that it factor or not. When you're 21, 22 years old, 20 years old, whatever, I think that, you come in as a rookie, you've had experiences being in locker rooms before, and I was fortunate to be in pro baseball locker rooms and football, so college football locker rooms, so it was kind of get to see a lot of that, younger guys who are maybe the star of the baseball team, in the major leagues, for example, who's 22 years old, and meanwhile, you have another 38-year-old on the team too as well, and so it's kind of that dynamic. But I think that what people really respect in terms of leadership is just one with football in particular and baseball and any professional sport is your work ethic first. How do you come in? How do you prepare? That preparation is really important, I think, and especially playing this position at quarterback is how do you prepare? How do you step into the huddle? And guys know if you're prepared or not. When you come in the huddle, is this guy prepared? Because when he's calling the plays or when he's processing out there and all that. I think guys really understand that, and so I think that it's not easy to play this position. I'll say that. It's not easy to play this position. I think it's the hardest position in the world. I've been fortunate to play baseball and everything else, and I know that sport's super hard too, and to play quarterback and have all the information, this encyclopedia of information and processing it all and reading the defenses and knowing what to change the protections to and get all this, it's a lot. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of time, and it's a lot of energy. It's a lot of focus. It's a lot of talking. It's a lot of all of that together, and then you got to make the play. And so I think with all of that together, being a younger player, for example, it's very difficult, and that's why it's hard for most to be successful. And so when you see a guy like Kyler doing the things that he's done so far, and some other young guys, it's pretty cool to watch. Young quarterbacks are doing a great job, certain ones in particular. So that's always a cool process along the way.
And how much does that change when you become the face of the franchise 7 years in, as opposed to 2 years in, and.
Yeah, I think things change a lot, from I think back to my year one and just coming in, just trying to learn the stuff, just trying to catch up on everything and get ready for practice and just, even for practice, I would never get nervous, but I would more so process all the information. Okay, do I know this? Okay, do I know that? Okay, good, got that checklist. You walk kind of down the list every play. Okay, I got this play, and then as you grow, I think from year two, year one to year two, like you know that you can do this. Okay, let's go do it. And then, year three all the way to year 9 now, it's a different perspective, and that perspective now is more so of okay, how can I feed into everybody else as much as I can? And I think that really starts happening around year 5, especially playing this position, and year 4 of okay, let me teach everybody else, let me talk to everybody else, let's talk about this, let's draw up this, let's think about this. All of that information happens. I think that really started happening for me in year 3, but it really grew, I think, more so in year 5, 6, and so on.
Brady.
Hi, Russ. There's kind of this big mystery as to what's going on with Josh Gordon, and something like the Seahawks are just as in the dark about what's happening with his reinstatement as everybody else is. I'm just wondering if you've had a chance to talk to Josh lately.
I've gotten a chance to talk to him. I text him, every week or every couple weeks or so, and he's always rooting for the Seahawks and stuff like that. So I don't know the process. I don't know where that's at right now, honestly, in that whole situation. So just praying that he's doing okay and along the way, and and I know he's been working out and all that too.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Tim Booth.
Hey Russ, all this conversation about Antonio typically means that an offense is looking to add something, or in this case, add a receiver. But you guys have the fourth best passing offense in the league. Now you're leading the league in scoring offense. Does this offense need to add something?
I think we've been great all year. I think that I think you're always trying to look to say how can we get better? How can we get better in every way? There's more touchdowns. There's more things. What can we do? I think you think about the Chiefs, for example, right? I mean, how their process goes and how they just added Le'Veon, I think, right? Right? Did they get that right? So they just added Le'Veon, for example, and I think that I think that's part of the process. This is professional sports. This is this is same thing. The Lakers and the Yankees and all these different teams. The reality is that it's part of the process for anybody on offense, defense, special teams, any team. They're always in that process, and I think that's the process that we've always been in. I think along the way.
Thank you, Russell.
Yeah, thank you guys. Go Hawks.